What's up, y'all? It's your host, Sensei AK. I'm back here with another episode. Like I say, y'all, thank y'all for clicking on this video. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know that you're here. It's always great to see y'all. Okay, so let's get to the show. To start this off, this 2025 has been the year of the theater. I've always had this opinion that it felt like people were not respecting the art of going to a movie theater and being totally immersed inside movies. Because when you're watching on streaming services, I feel like it definitely just cuts the enjoyment that you could possibly feel from watching this work of art instead of going to the big screen and seeing the whole vibe, not having your phone on, just being immersed completely in totality inside this movie. So I have watched so many movies this year, and honestly, I wouldn't take back any of it. It feels like I've been doing, you know, when you say you have adult money, so you start just doing adult things. I am willing to make this my adult hobby that I'm wasting my money on. So I went to go see Superman, and when I tell you, I enjoyed myself. I truly did. One of the main reasons why I enjoyed it, because it finally felt like DC wanted to sit back and say, all right, we are a superhero company. Let's just make a superhero movie for once in our miserable life. So we have James Gunn's rendition of Superman, the first movie in the DC universe. And when I tell you, this is the one. It felt like you were reading a comic book. It felt like the pride you get when you rewatch something and you're like, okay, this is it. And then you go and tell someone about it and they also think this is it. It's just a beautiful work of art. I felt vindicated in my love for DC because when Marvel was going on their the obscene run from 2008 all the way to like, I think 2019, 2020, something like that, where they just dropped banger after banger after banger, and then the DC universe couldn't even get the Flash right. How do you mess up the Flash? That's like the easiest one. But as we are getting this new rendition, it felt such a joyous in my ear. So the Superman movie, one of the reasons why I truly loved it, it finally turned up the color. It finally turned up the personality traits that I need from my Superman. Because keep in mind, I have watched a lot of superhero content. I've watched a lot of superhero movies, and it felt like DC never had the chance because of it was being conceived in the time when everyone was having superhero fatigue and they just didn't want to see all these colors and all these well-meaning. They wanted all their superheroes to be complex and want to be sad and brooding and go to the gym 24/7 because they don't got any friends outside of it. And they fell victim to this ideology that doesn't work when you're trying to tell a superhero movie, especially when you're talking about Batman, Superman. Well, we got the Superman colors. I wanted to be on theme for this episode. Let me start this off with, I remember the first time I watched Man of Steel, and I've never been so frustrated in my life because it felt like Clark didn't care about saving people. That felt like the last thing on his mind. And I feel like for that to be your first introduction to Superman of that universe is not good. Because, okay, ever since a lot of media started adding ever since a lot of these medias and shows, they started adding this multiverse concepts and things of that nature, people forget the purpose of having the one universe and one setting and things like that, because you needed grounding. You needed people to understand, okay, when I'm watching this Captain America, this is what Captain America should be. The ideologies, the way that he thinks, the reason why Captain America is special, the reason why he was willing to talk all that shit, because he's like, no. I know what's right. I know what I need to do in this situation. Or the feeling of him being so obnoxiously bland makes sense because that is true to his character. And then you switch over to Superman, Tell me why in The Man of Steel it felt like saving people was the fourth thing on his list. The number one thing was vengeance. That's not the Superman I was growing up with. That's not the Superman that should be the first one that you think of when you're making it. So when you have that being the main starting point of your Superman, it kind of muddies everything else, because of every other character inside that movie is playing off of Superman. So that's how you get characters like Lex Luthor being a lame inside Batman versus Superman. What was it? Y'all know the Abomination, but beyond the point. Let me get off my high horse. But as I'm let me talk about the actual movie and why I love the characterization of Superman. Superman is supposed to. Nope. Let me rewind. Let me tell you who Superman is. Superman is a Midwestern. He is the American idea. He is the farm. He is the cowboy. He is the man that gives the hope of the American dream. He's the man that makes you think all of this is worth it. Everyone is safe. Everybody is hopeful. Everybody has their space in this world because of they're all just human. That is the ideology that's deep inside his heart that he likes to go out and spread it to everywhere. And that's what makes it so special. Because you could actually tell that he cares. You actually tell that the Kents actually did something when they're raising him. Okay, some of my favorite scenes in this movie. There's the amount of times that they made an effort to see him saving the most inconceivable, the most small, minute things. There was a squirrel that was running around. It was about to get crushed by this kaiju. He goes and says, "I gotcha." Goes and puts it in a safe spot. Do you know what the last Superman would have done? He might have stepped out on himself, and that is why I love his Superman. One of the scenes that they were put on the trailer where he goes and saves the girl with the truck collapsing and all the metal beams are like about to fall on her, and he just goes and like literally shields her with his body to protect her when all the other superheroes are out here running amok and doing all this extra stuff. He was actually saving the people. And then when you actually do get to this kaiju fight, bro, they go and they're doing everything in their power to cause this they're doing everything in their power to cause this kaiju pain, and then Superman's like, "It's just an animal. Y'all are doing too much. Y'all are literally just doing too much." And then everyone's like, "Oh man, just forget about it, rookie." And keep in mind, that feels like the type of personality trait that he's going out of his way to spread to the world, because it's like, no, this isn't an alien. This is an animal. One of the main themes that they're showing through the movie, they're like, okay, everybody needs safety. Just because this other person opposes this other person, they should still remain the right to be safe. Another person should not be able to remove the safety of another. Period. I don't care what contest. I don't care what's going. Nothing. I don't care about that. And it's interesting because of he chose this. He gives this dynamic where the powerful are able to reign, right? But with said power comes responsibility to reign correctly. And he's like, okay, if you guys won't do it, I promise you, I will do it. and that's one of the things that's special in this movie, because of like, keep in mind, this movie starts. You get in this movie, you get a lot of like context about this world, because they don't do this thing where they start with an origin story and how he became Superman when he fell on the earth and da. Which, me personally, we are far too past. Everybody knows the history of Batman. Everyone knows the history of Superman. You don't need these background stories. We don't need it. We don't need this catch up, right? So they start where Superman has been Supermaning for about like 2-3 years. He's getting the handle. He don't lose no fights. This starts the movie where he loses his first fight, and everyone's like, whoa, that's crazy, right? And you see that everybody has this overarching sense of not just community but safety because Superman's around, right? Because of as he is doing the superheroing, the city loves him, the world loves him. And now let's enter Lex Luthor. I strive to be the type of hater that could. I've always said I wanted to be a hater like Kevin on stage, but no. I have to rewrite everything. I want to be a hater like Lex Luthor. My brother in Christ, you genuinely have everything out of the world. Anything you want, you could have yesterday. But this guy needs to go. You don't like him for what he physically represents. And one of the things that's interesting, you don't get the chance to see a characterization of Lex Luthor that's actually comic book accurate. And that's one of the things that I always felt like fell short when it comes to this Superman movie specifically, because Lex has been the super villain in like 3 Superman movies already. We've seen enough for him. I don't care anymore. And guess what? They do him wrong every single time because Lex is menacing. Lex should scare everybody. He's the type of billionaire that we can talk about this. I think we'll eventually get to the point where we're talking about the social commentary that this movie is giving, and I will get there. It's very, I like it. I personally like it. Lex is supposed to keep everyone around him docile to the point of fear. But you're not supposed to know why you're scared of him. You should just know this man is a little bit crazy, but we'll give him some space. But you never get the chance to see him really cut loose because of everybody in the world is beneath him. You can't see him. You can't run the fade with him. You can't go band for band with him. You just have to sit there and just be like, okay, everyone is beneath him. And no one can look him in the eye. He's a madman. He's crazy, right? And then you get a guy like Superman. Superman, physically everything that Lex is not, and physically everything that Lex cannot be either. There's a scene where he goes and he's talking to Superman. I was trying to see how much I should spoil while I'm talking about it. The first time that he sees Superman, this is post after robbing him, right? And then he's like literally trying to actually no. Let me not talk about that. Let me talk about the speech at the end. So Lex and Superman, they're face to faces after Superman literally just put hands on the machine that was sent after him, his own creation, one of the other main villains in the show, right? After whooping his prized possession, his greatest creation, he looks at him and they're going face to face. And you could see Lex is not only defeated, but as he's looking at Superman, you realize that he is everything that he can't be. He's not strong. He's not handsome. He can't physically make anybody do anything. And that's the main difference. Lex can't make you do anything. He will put everything in place to make you do what he wants you to do, but there's some people that he cannot there's some people that he just cannot fold, and that irritates him. That makes him, honestly, I think that's why he lost his hair. Honestly, I think he had a full head of hair 3 years ago, and then Superman came in and just ruined all of it, right? And as you're watching, Lex truly freak out, bro. There's a scene. The fight scenes in this movie, terrific. It's beautiful. I love the camera work that's going on. And let's switch over to terrific. In this movie, you get to see a bunch more superheroes. You get this universe's version of the Justice League. That's kind of what do you call them? The Super Bros? Magic Mikes? Hand over fist? Something. So there's Green Lantern, but not the Green Lantern. They go and pull up Guy Gardner. Now you're getting in your Duffy. And they go pull up Mr. Terrific. You're getting in your Duffy. and then you pull up with a hot woman. Come on now. I've always said hot girl might not be the most complex, but to me, I love her. She's the most interesting to me. I love hot girl. And as you get a chance to see these other superheroes, and keep in mind, this world is weird. It feels like, I think they're ran by another company that's like funding them. So this universe is the way that they handle, or the way that they interact with metahumans, is so interesting to me, because of the world has fully accepted them. Because keep in mind, in the context of the show, metahumans have been around for like 300 or so years, right? So it's deeply ingrained inside the society. So the point that people are like, they're okay with it. But for some reason, one thing that I noticed, I didn't really see too many like supers just like running around, which was a little different. But hey, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. So you get to see another group. You get to see a superhero group that's operating within the law, and it seems like they're like actively trying to get fans. That's what it seems like. But they're all like super unlikable in their own way, which I find hilarious. And I want to talk about Mr. Terrific. I am so glad that it feels like they're actually integrating more superheroes that are not mainstream. Because I remember reading a Mr. Terrific comic, and I'll try and tell my friends about it, and they just never heard of the guy. So the fact they're able to bring it to the forefront, beautiful. I love it. And one of the things I love about it, he's so terrifically black. Just a true black man, here and through and here and there. Bro. From the hair, to the build, to the way he talk, to the thing that he likes, to the way, the bravado that comes with being a black man. It's just, I feel it oozing out of him. He even gets the muffler man in his mouth. Fresh French kiss. It's beautiful. I love the word. I don't even know who played him, but it was fantastic. I loved it. And again, this casting. The guy that was playing Guy Gardner. What is, you know what? No, I gotta see that. Nathan Fillion. You, Nathan Fillion, you one of them. The way he was able to show off being a dickhead. You're definitely one of them. I never thought I'd see the day where I'd look at Guy Gardner and say, you know what? He's just misunderstood. He might be a dick, but you know what? I like you. But it was beautiful watching everybody collectively work together for the common goal, but still be like this ragtag group of misfits. It was great. What's some other stuff I want to talk about in this movie? I find it greatly hilarious that Jimmy Olsen having this many was written as an integral part of the storyline, because I'm looking back, I'm thinking to myself, was Jimmy like that? Am I just missing out on game? And then I look back at the comic books. He was like that. And it feels like every single universe he goes and finds his best friend's Clark's cousin and says, yeah, you and me, we're like this, twin. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. He find that woman in every single universe. But while I'm watching it, bros, the movie doesn't get complete. The movie will not end until a baddie gets introduced into the scene, and I love that. And it felt like he was just admitting this pheromone that everyone just was like, oh yeah, I need it. Bro was literally just walking down the street and teens jumping out of the woodwork. Hey, Olsen, how do you know her? You have a harem? You know that you got him. Speaking of harems, this movie was funny. I really liked it, bro. They opt and how this was pro-Palestinian. They opt the bro. They went in. They said Superman had a harem. They was hooping in this movie. And speaking of the politics of it, I can't believe we got to the day I can't believe we have came to the moments where people think Superman is too woke. He is the woke character. He is the guy that's more woke than everybody else. He is my brother in Christ. Him and wokeness. Like a Gojo sign. He was like that. He's one of them ones, right? And as I'm watching all this discourse, I can't believe that people are like, oh yeah, no, he wouldn't act like this. Oh, he's... I saw folks on the internet calling him an illegal alien. I'm like, that's the point. He literally is. That is what he stands for. He came to this country illegally to help people. And now we go fast forward. Everyone was talking about, oh, they were taking notes about what was going on. Keep in mind, people were talking about, oh, they were taking what was going on in the real world and construing it and just actually adding all this extra that wasn't there and on to go and push this woke narrative. My brother in Christ, they finished filming a while ago. This is just what they were thinking at the time. I'm sorry. That's just part of it. But no, they went and yapped. I can't even say bro's name. I can't even say his name. But it was wild. Another thing that I liked about the movie, there was a scene where Lex has Superman and he's like, oh yeah, you remember all those rumors and the hate posting and all the trolls? That was me farming. I literally had monkeys hooked up on that crack, typing away. When you were hating yourself, it was me. When you were seeing all this people talking stuff, it was me. When you were scrolling through your phone and all you're seeing was you with devil horns, that was me. So, and honestly, I feel like it brought up so many questions in my head because I've always been of the belief system that. Actually, it's not even my belief system. It's been proven. It's been proven where the majority of the internet is just automatic trolls. It's AI. It's people's whole job that they sit in front of the computer and then they literally just type all day. That is part of their job. There's people that have bots that they created to go and change narratives to suit themselves. Oh, and then I be seeing stuff like that in like different industries too, like music, for example. You be scrolling and you've seen all this, like, for example, people were like, Young Boy better. That's the one that comes to mind right off the top, where it seemed like anytime someone would say something negative about Young Boy, just a farm of people just say, nah, YB is better. Oh, you like Cordae? Nah, YB better. Oh, you like Lil Wayne? Nah, YB better. And it's getting to the point you're like, what is this? This can't be real people. And then it turns out it's actually just not real people. And so that's also a cautionary tale while you're on the internet to just mind. But yeah, okay, that was Superman. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your favorite Superman scene. Okay, chapter 2 of this episode. Life as a matcha drinking, book reading. You know, nah, I'm doing this whole bit. Life as a matcha drinker, as a bell-bottom jean wearer, as a dress shirt, even though I have nowhere dressy to go, with loafers, even though I have never worn a pair of dress shoes to work, nor a wedding, nor anything in person, or nothing special. What's been going on online has made me really come on here and made me chuckle. I've been excited to talk about this. The life of a performative man. So people are going on the internet and talking about there's men that are out here that are changing up their whole personality. They're spouting things they don't even believe just for the optics, just for the chance to find themselves a Soho baddie or a LA baddie or a what another area that has baddie? I was about to say Chicago, but I don't think Chicago got it like that. Let me know if Chicago got it like that. Actually, don't let me know if Chicago got it like that. But that's not the point. Oh, so as the so I'm here to talk about the performative male. They might have a tote bag, they might have a matcha, they might have a book written by I don't know. They might just have little women while they're reading in the coffee shop trying to have boba or something like that. Beyond the point. First, I like to say, why now? Why now? And I have been thinking this has been in the works for a couple years now. All right, let's rewind a little bit. Where every young man from the age of 14 to 25 was watching this man named Andrew Tate, and they were emulating what it means and what you need to do to be that masculine alpha male that gets all the girls, that has the six-pack, that makes the seven figures, and has the fast, nice cars. They were falling deep into that hole. They were putting all their eggs inside that basket because of, keep in mind, this is during COVID. Nobody was talking to anybody. So they were just listening to this on, okay, this is how you get it. This is how you're supposed to do it. Keep in mind, keep in mind they were broke. Keep in mind they were lacking of community, and keep in mind they were lacking in sense of self. And when you have those three things coming together in such an efficient manner, you tend to forget who you are. And you know what that means? That gives space for, I don't want to say cult leaders, but cult adjacent individuals to be able to swoop in and give you what you are looking for. And that gets problematic for a couple of reasons. The main reason being, you get led astray, losing your money and alienating yourself from what you really want in life, right? So as that goes on, kind of like with politics, the pendulum always swings. It always goes. And I predicted once we actually leave, we're gonna get a bunch of men that are just disconnected, that are just unable to have the smallest, menialest conversation and connection with the other gender, right? And that's exactly what happened. And to combat that, because keep in mind, what men want to do, or at least the vast majority, they just want to be loved, just like y'all women. Y'all, they just want to be loved. They just want to find the connection in this world that we were here given with, right? And they found out, it was working for some, but not the vast majority. Because keep in mind that toxic masculinity and that alpha male domineering energy, it works for some people. Like, you will go out there and some women will be like, oh, I like that. But the vast majority, yeah. So you know what happens? You have to change your bag. You gotta change your bag of tricks. You gotta go find something new. And here comes the rise of the matcha drinking, book reading, handsome, chill guys that we know as. Some people are calling them the Pinterest men. I personally like that a lot more. But that's what some people are calling the Pinterest man. I like that a lot more than performative man, but that's, again, beyond the point. So now that we're in this era where men are actively, I won't even say decentralizing women, but they're trying to find different things to do. This is basically just hobby find. Everyone's just trying to find a new hobby, but the sole objective of finding a new companion with said hobby. And it gets to the point where you realize that is like one of the main playbooks, I fear. That's one of like the main things folks do. Because I even remember when I was younger, men will do a lot to get themselves a baddie. Men will go to the moon to go get them some baddie. You think math got it? You think math got Armstrong all the way there? It was the fact that when he got back, he was gonna be getting everybody. He knew that he was going to be loved. You think men become actors for the love of the game? No. It's for the ends. You think men learn Spanish and tango for the Mexican heritage? No. It's the fact, the chance to... Because keep in mind, when you do that, you get access to a whole new community of people. You are going to be interacting with a whole new database that you didn't even know people like this existed. You think the photography club exists for the photography? No, it's the meat baddies. It's the meat baddies. Men do a lot for the chance, for the inkling of being able to connect with a baddie, right? And now you ask yourself, if it's all performative and they don't like it, are they just faking their personality for this chance? I'll give you one better. It's not that they're faking their personality. They're getting the chance to recreate their personality. They're getting the chance to find something that they may or may not like. Because of, in this age specifically, we are missing out on so much enjoyable things in this short life that we live. People are not doing what they want. People are not exploring what they want. People don't even... Forget exploring what they want. People aren't even... They are... Forget exploring what they want. People aren't even having hobbies in this day and age where you can do anything. And it's that is detrimental. People are not going out their way to gain skills. People are not learning new things. There's people that are actively their hobby. Some people's favorite thing in the world to do when they have free time, you know what they do? Scroll. 6 hours passes. Scroll. All right, it's time to sleep. Wake up. The first thing they do. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Wake up. Scroll, and then they start their day. Their phone has encapsulated the majority of not just their free time, their every waking minute of life. So I personally think this performative man is just the new meta. It's just what happens when you're trying to distance yourself from who you were in the past to try and make yourself better for today. And with this specific meta, with this specific look of being the performative Pinterest man, you are actively saying no to that toxic masculinity. You are actively saying, no, I don't want to control the people that I am with. I just want to be a chill guy and just woosah. Positive reinforcements lead to that thing that receives said positive reinforcements. So people like that guy. Because I feel like we're missing out on this very important aspect of the conversation. You like him. He is deemed as interesting, even though it is vapid. And you know what? If it is vapid, people cannot pretend for too long. It's a lot of work to be able to create this whole personality out of thin air that you do not like. So do I recommend it? I don't recommend faking yourself to recreate it, because of, keep in mind, that is the same problem with the alpha male thing, the whole alpha male community and that whole ideology. That was the problem, because folks didn't understand who they were. People weren't able to coincide with their own belief systems to build something that is real, that they want to truly follow. That's why they followed these charlatans. That's why they were watching Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit. And I don't want to say Kevin Samuels, but low-key Kevin Samuels too. I know it's when you coincide with belief systems that aren't yours, you tend to forget who you were to begin with, right? And in this current age, that has happened. That happens so frequently, because you get put in this position where, my life isn't what I want it to be, or it wasn't what I thought it would be by this time. Let me scroll a little bit. Oh, this 23-year-old just bought a Lambo in a high-rise apartment. They bought it? Yeesh, I still live in my parents' house. Or this person or even when you step away from the streamers and the celebrities and the famous and the royalty and things of that nature, you look in your own hometown, you're like, oh, that one guy I went to school with, he's about to have his second kid. Oh, we're only 25, 26, and he has his, my other person that I knew in school, now they're a senior manager at their job. Yeesh. Oh, this other person moved to this big city and now I'm only seeing their highlights. What am I doing? I don't even have highlights. It stems from the same place of insecurity where you aren't able to distinguish who you are in the context of everybody else. And to play into that as well, people have lost the community that comes with people have lost the community that acclimates itself to when people are not feeling well to begin with. That's one of the things of community that is lost with social media and actively avoiding people because of you can't live this life on your own. This life is hard. I cannot lie to you. I cannot lie to you. Especially when we have people that are literally one car accident away, one sprained ankle away from going broke and becoming homeless. That is devastating. That is hard. So now that we try and let me jump back to the cons of this performatism. This is the last point I want to hit before I move on to the next part of the show. When you are being performative, there are other people that are watching you. You are being perceived. That's the whole point of this whole thing, right? And that leads to other people following in your own footsteps. At least other people improving bits and pieces of themselves by watching you in the first place. And that's one of the few benefits that I will say will come from this performative era. We will get more soft-spoken men. We will get more men that are willing to read a book. We will get more men that are willing to give other people the space to live their own life, because we are reaching a point where a lot of men have lost what it meant to be a man. And a lot of men have also got to the point where they're not seeing their usefulness. They aren't seeing, because keep in mind, I always like to tell people, it's hard to be a man now than it was back then for the main reason you literally just had to get money back then. That's all you needed to do. Because if you're able to get money to get the house and be able to afford everything as in the home, you are set. You could not do no wrong. You're able to be a bad person. You are literally just the shining beacon of the community if you're able to just hold down one job and be able to afford everything. Which that is a hard thing, I will say, but it's a lot harder now. There's more competition. Women can actually do things as well. so it does get hard. It definitely does get hard, especially when we get to this society where there's more women under 25 that are buying homes than there is men under 25 that are buying homes. When there's more women getting their master's degrees and things of that nature than there are men. Where there's women that are actively doing things that set themselves up to be financially independent without actively needing another man. Now they literally only need a man for the emotional aspects. And a lot of men aren't out here learning that stuff, because the life of the performative man is not for everyone, but I will say it is good looking. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you leave a like and comment on this side of the video. Section 3. The results are in. Nigerian men are the most handsome. I'd like to just say thank y'all. I like to say thank y'all for everyone coming to their sense. Everybody needed to hear this. Man, being a Nigerian man, it's joyous. It's beautiful. Every single day I wake up and I say thank God. Every day I wake up and I say wow, the blessings. And you know what? And I feel like it plays a part in the reason why I can't be sad, because I wake up and I got a flag. Oh, I got the flag. It feels like a buttermilk pancake being. It feels like a buttermilk pancake with a cube of butter on top with some honey and some maple syrup being drizzled on top with a side of blueberries and strawberries. It feels like the honey goat milked. It feels like a goat being poured of honey. Yeah, that's all I have for that segment. Yeah. Astronomer CEO Andy Bryan has been caught with the head of HR. First of all, I'd like to say that's just ironic. They were caught at a Coldplay. They got caught at a Coldplay. Yeah, Coldplay. They got caught at a Coldplay concert, and I've never seen such hiding in my life. He legitimately was like, You know when you've been caught in the act that you know you were there with someone you weren't supposed to be there with? I saw the fear in his eyes. I saw that he's like, oh no, this gonna cost the company money. I'm gonna have to fire my favorite. And it just brings me some joy that everybody actively has a work wife, because I was thinking to myself, once I graduated, I was in the field. I'm thinking to myself, hey, is this work wife thing like a real thing? What's going on? I started talking to some of the guys. They're like, yeah, bro, at my jobs, everyone is just with everybody. It's ridiculous. And then it gives me a quick flashback. It gives me a flashback to my time working at this undisclosed location. Yeah. Let me not make people get fired from their job, because some people still work at the same place they were working for 15 years, and now I guess they measure. So beyond the point. I have never seen such blatant cheating like working at a fast food joint or a park, or like I won't say like an amusement park, but somewhere where like children be, right? Tell me why. I take that back. Warehouse jobs. Yeah, warehouse jobs will get you right. I've heard some crazy Amazon stories. And it feels like every single time I've been told that the reason why they do it is because the likelihood of them getting caught is so low that it gives some excitement to their life. And I say, my brother in Christ, it can't be for me, but hey, live your truth. Oh, so as a CEO, I'm thinking to myself, because keep in mind, I was looking at some of the news article, and the CEO was like, yeah, I love her. She does such a great job. She's like the ride or die, just gushing over her, saying she's doing such a great job. And it turns out that they're out here canoodling. Oh, no. And I personally just find it funny because of the HR's whole job is to tell people, hey, you're an adult, but stop that. Whatever you're doing, I don't want to see it. No one wants to see it. I will fire you. That's their whole job. And you're telling me you're canoodling with the guy? No, that's not good. It's a bad look for everyone involved. And I'm sitting back, and I'm honestly, every time I see the video, I always smirk because of getting caught red-handed. Shorty literally dropped. She dropped to her knees when it all came. And you see her processing like, oh no, this is gonna go everywhere. And it does. It gets viral. It's all funny, loving games, funny. But I would like to say, leave them people alone, please. I was seeing some of the crazy stuff, some of the ramifications of this whole interaction, and I'm like, this is officially lame. I cannot lie. Tell me why. People are going to the wife's Facebook pages and berating her, telling her your husband's cheating. Your husband is cheating. And I'm sitting back and I'm thinking about, first of all, number one, they're not celebrities. Leave them the fuck alone. They did not trade their privacy for their money. That's not their role. They didn't do that. So the fact that y'all out here doxing people, and you know what? I think this also reminds me, the reason why this day and age blows me so much. Doxing is such a common practice that it blows me, because who are you to put people in danger like that? And you know what? Not even for the danger part. Who are you to be able to impose your own will inside somebody else's life when they do something that's like quote unquote morally wrong? Because now y'all are just sitting here doing the moral high ground when y'all just heard when your significant other is out here doing the do in your car because they don't own a car, or your significant other is doing your friend, but they don't want to. You don't want to talk about that, right? You don't want to talk about the fact that y'all are living lives that can be seen as morally unacceptable. It cannot be respected. So as I'm sitting here and I'm watching y'all, polluting people's Facebook pages, doxing other people. And at what point are we going to say, all right, do you truly believe that you aren't doing anything that's worth being doxed? So you're going to tell me that you will never be on the receiving end of this public flogging. You will not be on the receiving end of these tomato throws. You're telling me you won't lose your grill. You won't, out of nowhere, just get out of your sight, get out of your body and tell a waiter off. And keep in mind, the way that it's going, people might get stoned over this not tipping culture that's going on right now. You're telling me that you are exempt from this. You are never going to be the one on the receiving end. I don't know. This is a very slippery slope. And keep in mind, people on the internet are getting younger and younger and younger. Y'all have a long time to make mistakes. And guess what? People will be there and people will be filming. Have you all... Sometimes I look at my life and I'm like, I have lived an interesting one. I have seen myself in 3 separate videos with 100,000 likes. And I'm like, who was taking that video? And you just see me in the background. I'm like, no, this is ridiculous. I couldn't imagine if someone was actively trying to find you, if people were actively going out their way to make you look like you were the crazy one. And now I want to talk about the lack of privacy that is going on. The fact that these aren't celebrities is the part that is blowing me, because they're literally just rich, right? Once you're rich, relationships change. They're not doing what we are doing. Open relationships are what they're doing. Being separated, but on paper being together is what they are doing. They have different lives than you and me. They have different rules than you and me. So the fact that y'all could put your own rules on these billionaires, for the fact that you could put your own moral high ground and things of that nature inside their own lives when you don't know what's going on is ridiculous. It was one thing when y'all were doing that with Will and Jada, even though they've been all the way out letting y'all know that their relationship was open, and people were still trying to stone people. No, it is not. It is not good. And I just want to say this. Throwing the stone from a glass house is a very tricky game because a lot of y'all slip. And I don't want y'all to break y'all own windows. Love Island season finale. They did their big one on that show. They really did their big one. Honestly, my favorite part has been seeing everyone leave the villa and truly take off with their careers. It feels like at least everybody that wanted something from the show, they ended up in getting something from the show. Besides all the folks that were I don't even want to call them the villains of the season, but I will say it feels vindicating seeing all the couples actually leave and continue being a couple besides the one that I was not going for. The fact that y'all voted out Ace this early, or at least voting out Ace to keep Huda and the man that don't like her, that I cannot forgive y'all. But you know what? At least it gave me my favorite scene in the show. She says, "Can you carry me?" He said, "Absolutely not. You will walk." And one other thing, and as the season was going through, I'm glad that they wrapped up some character arcs the way that I really wanted to see them. Like the Shelly and Ace finally coming back together to do their big one. I like to clap for y'all. Nick and Olandria, I like to clap for y'all too, because of they were leaving hints. But I will say Nick is a little slimy. It's a little slimy. She said, hey, this is all I want from my man. I just want him to truly love and adore me and truly put me forth and let me see myself as the prize. Let me see myself to be truly desirable from your eyes. And he said, "Oh, you just need some words of affirmation? Don't worry, my love. Don't worry, my love." But I will also say, out of all the fan edits of everybody, Nick Olandria's was the fires. It was the most fire. It felt like I always like to say, in a relationship, the man just gotta love the woman a little bit more than she love him. He needs to adore. He needs to turn around and be like, that's the one. That's the one I'm throwing it to. That's the one I bring it to the stage because of kind of, you know what's funny? You know what's funny? Earlier in the episode, I was talking about the role of a man, the role of the woman, things of that nature, and it feels like an underlining wants for both people is truly to be wanted, to be shown off. Because I've always heard women say that they don't want to be seen as like pretty and attractive and things of that nature. But it's like, no. You want it from the right person. You want it from the right person. And it just feels. Love is always nice to see. Love is always nice to endure and feel, and it's just a great time. And honestly, the fact that a reality TV show was able to make me feel such highs and such lows, I was watching this on live, getting ready to shed a tear in anger, in sorrow, in joy for all the different scenes that I was out here enduring through. And shouts out to my papaya. I will say that. Shouts out to Amaya. She was out here. She did her big one. And you know, shouts out to what's her name? What is his name? Brian? Shouts out Brian too. I am so glad. So they offered, hey, here's 100,000. Are you gonna split it with Amaya, or are you just gonna take it and run? And he did the thing that people with sense do. They said, don't worry about it. We will share. And I love the fact that people could sit back with some foresight, because that 100 bands, you did not need it. I've seen the way that they're treating people online over this show. You did not need it. I promise you, bro. And speaking of the way that y'all are treating people online, tell me why people are getting doxxed. Tell me why people are out here riding for some of these people. And the number one individual that people have been riding for, and I'm honestly just surprised. I can't lie. I'm very surprised. People are dying over this Lady Huda. People are willing to bash and throw people under buses over this Lady Huda. And I'm starting to watch y'all, and I'm like, there's no way folks can do all this abusive, manipulative tactics in relationships, hide behind the trauma response that they have and say, this is just how I am, and you just have to deal with it. My brother in Christ, you are putting people in insane propositions. You are making people. You are changing not just the narrative that these people are living through, because keep in mind, in Love Island world, you're going through psychosis. I can't even lie. Everyone in that book is just going through psychosis because of they are moving like this isn't a reality show. And I'm watching folks forget that they're on reality TV. But my main gripe is the changing of narratives. Not so much the fact that she's telling other people her story from her own point of view. It's more so the fact that you can be so reductive to a person's experience and then go on the biggest platforms on the internet and just preach that stuff, and having your friends go and just hunt them down and hunt anybody that has an opposing view is ridiculous. And I'm like, y'all are being blinded by bad bitchery. Y'all are being seduced. And you know what? I've always said the scariest thing in the world is a bad bitch that knows she a bad bitch. Pretty privilege alongside the halo effect, alongside people adoring the little personalities in them because it reminds them of them. That is dangerous. That is scary, because you will see all these, I'll just keep calling it abuse, these abusive traits, and then be like, it's quirky. This seems more quirky than anything else. Y'all are overblowing it. Y'all are just trying to get her because she's pretty, and y'all are jealous. Pretty and y'all are jealous? I'm talking to my homegirl. She gonna say, if this was a man, or if this was a black woman doing this heinousy, the world would be throwing stones. And it's just wild to see. And you know what? I'll backtrack a little bit on Ace. I'll backtrack a little bit on Ace. He's pretty reasonable. He's pretty reasonable. I cannot lie. He is pretty reasonable. And I'd like to take this moment to say he might not be 5'6". He might be a male 5'9". Do y'all know what that means? I remember I was talking about this on another show where men have this way of presenting their height in different ways where it's only accurate if you have a man's mind. So let me explain. Let's say you're 5'9", barefoot. You're going to tell people you 5'10", 5'11". Do you know why? Because you own shoes. And do you know what happens when you own shoes? You are technically walking around in most pair of shoes. Let's say you're walking around in New York. You're just walking around in Timbs. You're walking around in Hoka slides. You never not 5'11". You never not 5'10". You're never not. But for women, I've realized that they're actively like lowering how tall they are to the point of like slouching or having their height, the regular height, be without shoes or things of that nature that men are just like, no. Give us those couple inches. You know why? Because y'all are mean. The world is pretty mean to short men. To the point, it's pretty hilarious how inconsiderate some people are when they are interacting with short men. And y'all will sit here and claim that y'all want a short king, but I will say, when it comes to trying to assault a man, the first few things that go: are they broke? They might not be broke. Are they attractive? They might not be attractive. You know what? They're short and bald. Those two combinations, short and bald, they're gonna throw that in there just to try and get you a quick stab in on the emotional end. So I will say that. But another thing, I do like how Ace spanned back and he was like, from the beginning of week 1, Shelly, it'll be me and you. It will be me and you, to the point of the only other man that was getting as much attention as Ace is literally it was just Nick. It was just Nick, but I think that's just more the white boy allure than anything else, where you ever been on the internet? I know that's a crazy sentence. You know, when you're interacting with an individual, that you're interacting with a white boy, and they just find the baddest POCs for no reason at all. They even though they mid, but they'll always find the baddest POC around, because as long as they just have some sway, some rock, it's calm. All those extra biases and things of that nature that come along, it's just put it to the side. Well, you know what? You're not aggressive. You're more safe than anything else. Oh, you're not dumb. You're just airy. You're fun. You're joyous. You're just a fun guy. So being able to interact with other baddies this whole time has been just very interesting to watch on his end. But back to Ace. Ace has been with the baddies the whole show, and it's to the point where everybody was giving him the same interactions over and over and over. They shot viciously, but he said, "No, Shelly. Huda can start doing all that extra stuff." What's her name? Who was the other one? Who was that? Iris? Yes, Iris. Iris could be doing that extra stuff too, but no. It'll be me and you, Shelly. So once you ditch that 6'8" white boy, just come talk with me. And I loved it. Now let's talk about Huda and Chris a little bit. The amount of people that told me, "Oh my God, I love their relationship" when it first started, and I was like, it feels a little too good to be true. That's the type of things I was getting from it. And then it felt like the last relationship was just playing out in slow motion. And then it got to the point where, you ever seen a beaten down man? You ever see a man that's just tired? They just can't do it anymore. He was doing I hate my woman things. They were doing I hate my girlfriend activities. And I don't condone, but I feel you. You trying to get a point across and they just thinking you joking. You trying to set a firm boundary and they think you're being ridiculous and you're being insensitive for not giving up the cuddles. Oh, and you know what? I want to talk about that too. When Huda was like, I'm going to count down to 3 and you better get over here. And if you don't, tomorrow's going to be the worst day ever. I'm going to be mad at you. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, let that be a man. Oh my God, let that be a man. Or let that be an ugly woman. Oh, the streets. You're telling me that's oh my God. And back to what I was saying earlier, the minimization of interactions like that when she is telling everybody else to form this cohesive belief system that's against him. It doesn't only feel like the world is against you, but it feels like the reality that you are living in is second, or it's not even happening to begin with, and you should just be happy to be in that role. That's the voice that's telling you. But you just have to sit there and be firm in the fact that, okay, I'm not going crazy. And when they invited their family on, I was like, oh, this is extra manipulation. And the mom was like, oh, y'all look so good together. She listens and you guys just work well. I'm like, wow. I get it. The 100 bands was 100 bands. Fine. But still, yeesh. No, that was tough. That was a tough watch. That was definitely a tough watch. But I would like to mention again what's that word? The parasocial relationships that I've seen form in this season of reality TV was very interesting for me to watch, because it's like, I remember watching shows like Jersey Shore and RuPaul's Drag Race and shows like that, right? And what's the other one? Or even more shows that are closer to Love Island, like Too Hot to Handle, The Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, things of that nature, shows that I've seen. I haven't seen such a overwhelming fan interaction in a long, long time. And I feel like as a society, we need to figure out this gender war now. Because the amount of individuals that I've seen being like, oh, y'all are being far too hard on a Huda was scaring me. Because you're telling me you're out here relating to this and you are allowed to be out dating people in the world doing these same crazy things? Wow. Because let me sit back and let me ask you. It was a man that went on a whole dating show with his daughter. He has a daughter back at home, and he waits literally about a week, 2 weeks of dating y'all. And then you find out you weren't hiding the kid from the world. You were hiding the world from your kid. That's your take? No! And then we all just collectively like, oh no, she's just a good mom trying to find love, and she just wants to be loved and connect with somebody new and no. No. But yeah, no, as I was watching it, I was like, wait, there's no way that y'all are letting this slide. Oh. But hey, everybody has different levels of consistency when it comes to judging character and what they deem is acceptable and what they deem is abusive and things of that nature, which I feel like as a community, as a group, we all need to come together to set a higher bar, because the bar can't be in hell. The bar really cannot be in hell. But yeah, very fun. Is there anything else I gotta hit on? Yeah. Thank y'all for watching. This is the Dojo Podcast. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, the whole 9 yards, man. Thank y'all. We are going to be posting a lot more. Yeah, let's see if I can hold myself to that. Yeah.